I don't think I've ever won an award before, so this is very, very cool. And what I wanted to talk about today was just a few seconds about Pub, but more about the archive project, and you'll see the connection in a minute. It started because I was very interested in the 60s. I've been working on a magazine for a nonprofit I was involved in, and gluing and pasting things, and thinking that there ought to be some interactive software that would do that so we wouldn't have to do it by hand. And I was looking for a project to do and went to Les and asked if he had anything that was not an AI project, because I was disillusioned by AI at that time. And he suggested a few, and one of them was this document compiler idea. And I went, oh, no, that's the wrong way to do it. You really should do it interactively on the screen. And he said, well, maybe later. Right now, just do this language. So I said, OK.
The clicker?
And that's what I did.
The left top.
Left top. OK, so this is, on the left, the cover of the Pub manual, which was not done in Pub. This was done by going to the Stanford Library, finding an off-copyright book, and copying the page. And then on the right here, there is some commentary. So I've got this online, the URL will come up in a minute. And what I've done is taken the manual and annotated it. Instead of using footnotes or endnotes or something, I decided I would do side-by-side, which creates some interesting constraints. Here's an example, like the page from the table of contents, and some commentary about, just general stuff, because you don't have to say a lot about the table of contents. But I've got the entire manual there, thanks to Bruce's work of a few years ago to get us all the generally publicly available files. And I had to do all the Unicode stuff, because he hadn't done that yet. So that was kind of a pain. So thanks for doing it better. And then I've got pages and pages of this stuff. Here's an example of something from the left side of the page, which is something out of the manual, and some from the right side of the page, which is some commentary about how this compares with Microsoft Word, how it compares with HTML and JavaScript and PHP and that sort of thing. So this is one of my favorites, because if in Pub you wanted to have kind of left, middle, and right stuff on a line.
Laser?
Oh, it's OK.
There's one on what you have in your hand.
Yeah. It's not on.
The red button.
Oh, green, red button. OK, there we go. So you want the green one? OK. Anyway, to do that is something you can do in Pub. It takes all this to do it in HTML, so I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, what I had in mind was, next slide, the manual is there, nomodes.com, which you'll also find some other historical stuff. I like to do computer history in my limited spare time. Pub underbar manual, or you just go there and you can jump around and you'll find it. But I got this idea yesterday when I heard I was supposed to give this talk about, well, why don't we get other documents that were done in Pub out of the archive, out of all your private directories, and get them all together and do a gallery of Pub documents. So if you can find the source code, if you can find the object code, the source will always be .pub. The object code will be .doc. But they've got the ones that are in the public files are easy, but the ones that are in the private directories, if you would send them to me, I'll work with Bruce, and we'll come up with some way to make them.
Just send the file name, and then I could hand them to Larry.
Yeah, but I need your permission basically and I need your password access. So if you send it to me, I think that's the easiest.
Yes.
Bruce and I will work it out. But this way we can get technical papers, proposals that were destroyed by the authorities, but still exist. In my own directory, I found something that I've been looking for years that I'd done at Park, but somehow I'd stored it in my directory. So it's definitely worth looking through there. You'll see some great gems. And this will both illustrate things you could do with Pub, but more important, get some of that work that you did back in those days out there. And if somebody can, if you have any time to write commentary, that's even better. But for now, just get me the documents, and we'll work on that afterward. Thank you very much.